All right, great. I'm very excited to see everybody here today. Um, I have a formal presentation, but please feel free, as you think of questions, to put them into the chat or the Q&A section, wherever you prefer, and I will just try to answer them as we go along. I really only have three important topics that I wanted to show you today. And that the first one is really trying to make sure that we get you into the program that's right for you. So we have these two streams. I'll talk a little bit about how they're different from each other and where they sort of direct you afterwards. We'll talk a little bit about our admission requirements and also some of the admission requirements for things like getting into a university program. And then I have a concrete list of sort of the 6 benefits of the pre-health sciences program for both streams. So a few years ago, our streams used to have really nice, neat titles, and they were called Pre-Health Path for College and Pre-Health Path for University. But we've gone with these new naming conventions, and so I really wanted to highlight that our two programs are different, and they head you in different directions. If you are thinking of becoming a practical nurse, a paramedic, a dental hygiene or hygienist or dental assistant, an occupational therapist or physiotherapist, a pharmacy technician going into our fitness and health promotion program, or in general, if you're planning to go to college health programs, so like taught at a college level, we really recommend taking our pathway to certificates and diplomas. This pathway is specifically designed with college health programs in mind. On the other side, if you're thinking about maybe going into registered nursing or the collaborative nursing program, and for anybody who's never heard of that, the collaborative nursing program is sort of a 2+2 program where you'll spend 2 years at a college and 2 years at a partner university. And then at the end of the day, you still become a registered nurse. It's just taught in a slightly different format, but it's like the same licensing credential. So if you might be thinking about registered nursing or any of sort of like the pure sciences at a university, things like biology or biomedical science, chemistry or biochemistry, neuroscience, the medical lab technology program is often taught at the university level. We really highly I was going to say highly recommend, but like, no, you have to take the advanced diplomas and degrees pathway. If you think you'll go to university, that is the only one that will be accepted by universities for their admission requirements. Universities do not accept our certificate and diploma pathway. They only consider our advanced diplomas and degrees stream. The good news is that if you think you might go to university or you might go to college, you can use the advanced path to apply to college. So it works in one direction, but not the other. You can take the advanced path for both university and college programs, but the certificates and diplomas program is for college health programs only. So if you know for sure the program that you want to apply to, the job you want to do, the career you want to follow, if you know it's offered at ontariocolleges.ca, definitely take our certificates and diplomas stream. That's what it's designed for, is to get you there and make sure you're successful once you're there. But if you think you're going to go to university, if this is a thing that like you're sort of interested in or you want to keep your doors open, I do want to let you know, and I don't like to say that it's harder, but it's harder. The advanced diplomas and degrees stream is specifically preparing you for like the rigors of university. Many colleges will just also accept it for their college programs. So if you're really interested in one of the programs offered on the UAC website, the Ontario University Application Centre, we also recommend that you check the specific program requirements. Even though we say that the advanced diplomas and degrees pathway will be accepted, every university is different and every program is different. So they all have slightly different requirements, and you want to make sure that they're going to accept all of our courses to meet their admission standards. If you're not sure, the UAC website, if you are thinking about university, it has tons of information about all of the programs, and it should tell you which kinds of courses are required for admission. And if you're ever not sure, remember that you can always give them a call. If you know where you're applying to, like you can call them. I was going to say today, but it's Saturday. But you can call them Monday and ask their admissions office exactly what you need if you know where you're going. Many of you folks in the chat might be thinking, I have no idea where I might be going afterwards. Or maybe you have like a couple of plans, like a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. There's like a few things that kind of interest you. And so I want to assure you that in both of our pre-health science pathways, we also offer our academic and career preparation course. So this course is incredible. It gives you an opportunity to research a variety of different healthcare careers, but you also really tailor your search based on your personal interests, your personality type, and your various learning styles. So this course is trying to make sure that you don't waste your money, that you're going to go on to something you're going to love and that you're going to thrive in. Maybe the best part about this course is that we bring in guest speakers. So we bring in a nurse, like a practicing nurse in the field. We bring in a paramedic. We bring in scientific researchers who are doing research at universities, and they get to tell you about what it's really like to work in their field. It's also a chance for you to expand your personal and professional learning network. You're going to meet people. You're going to meet potential employers. You're going to really work to expand your horizon and have a chance to just meet real humans doing real good work, saving lives. No matter which path you think you might be headed, if you might head to a college or you might head to a university, both of our pre-health science pathways have very minimal admission requirements. So to come to our program is very easy. Excuse me. If you are applying to our pre-health path to certificates and diplomas, you only need a grade 12 English of any kind, which I'm pretty sure you need to have in order to graduate from high school or equivalent. So any grade 12 English, and we will take you into our program. If you're applying to our advanced diplomas and degrees pathway instead, the only additional requirement is we also want you to have a mathematics course. Again, any kind of grade 12 math will count. Any of the grade 12 C or U or equivalent courses. Basically, if you have a grade 12 math and English, you qualify for our advanced diplomas and degrees pathway. Our applications are still open. They stay open for a long time because we like to have lots of students going on to do great things. And so if you are not yet applied, or if you have not yet applied, I guess, you can go to the ontariocolleges.ca website and you can apply for either program. They both stay open and accepting students for a long time. All right, the benefits. There's more than six, but these are just like the six I really wanted to highlight before we got into your personal questions. And number one, no matter which of our two pre-health pathways you take, you'll end up with two transcripts for your next application. So even if you're applying to a college or a university, when you're done with us, you'll then have your high school grades and your pre-health grades. And usually the admissions office will automatically sort of pick and choose your best courses across both transcripts to like make your final admission average. Our faculty are great. I'm biased, of course, because I teach into this program, but you saw our admission requirements. We don't assume that you know things already about science. We assume that that's why you're here, that you want to learn. And so we're going to start from the beginning. And really, the reason we do this is so that you do get this gentle transition. If you dive in like head first into one of those like rigorous, competitive college or university health science programs, They're tough. They have high expectations, and they're a lot less gentle than we are going to be. Now, we have very high expectations of you. We know that you are going on to do great things and save people and like save their lives. And so we really are trying to make sure that you get into your next program, but also that you stay there, that you succeed there. So we have high expectations, but pre-health is a gentler transition, especially if you're a student maybe who's fresh out of high school, or if you're a student where maybe it has been a few years since you have last been in school. This is sort of like a nice way to go on into healthcare. These ones here are specifically if you take our certificates and diplomas pathway. So if you are taking or thinking about a college level health program, on the like official Niagara College website, it has a very fancy paragraph that says pre-health is the preferred preparatory program for admission to health programs at Niagara College. And so like what it really means is if you graduate from our pre-health program, either one, I mean, like if you took the advanced path and also applied to us after, that would be fine. But if you graduate from pre-health and apply to another Niagara College program, you kind of get like a boost up the admissions ranking. It's just a few points, but it could be the difference between being on the wait list and being accepted. Or it could be the difference in like raising your rank on the wait list as well. So whichever next program you apply to at Niagara College, they sort of take into account that you're already a Niagara College student and they'd like to keep you. So we give you a little boost up the ranking process as long as you graduate from pre-health. So you complete our courses, you pass your courses, and then you apply to another Niagara College course. They give you a couple of points of recognition for all your hard work. Another incredible thing, if you apply to another Niagara College program, is that you can get up to 2 transfer credits. So as part of pre-health, you'll take like an English or a communications course is what we call it, and you'll take an elective course, and you might not need to retake them in your next program. The English course you take is the same one that they do, like that we offer in our nursing and other health science programs that I can't remember off the top of my head. But like most of our health science programs take that same English course. You won't have to repeat it. So you'll have like a couple of fewer classes so you can really focus on the complicated like nursing or paramedic or those kinds of like your core courses. So to answer your question, yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting that dental is like one of the big four as well. But so after pre-health, if you'd then like to apply for the dental assisting program, yes, you will absolutely qualify for it as long as your grades are good and you do well on their admissions, like entrance exam into dental assisting. They do accept our courses for their admission requirements. I can say that confidently for Niagara College. At other colleges, you would just have to check with their admissions office. An excellent question. For any folks in the chat who are interested in university programs or advanced like diplomas or degrees, we also have 2 articulation agreements. So you can actually earn university transfer credits by taking our advanced level pre-health course. So just like on the previous slide, where college, like certificate and diploma courses would count as transfer credits at Niagara College, we also have these other 2 opportunities for folks who are headed to university to get that same kind of benefit. I will come back to that in 1 second. If you look at the Queen's University Bachelor of Health Sciences, their online program, and if you graduate with a 73% in all of our pre-health advanced courses, they will give you up to 12 transfer credits, or like they call them transfer units, out of their program. So if you go on from our advanced pathway to the Queen's Bachelor of Health Science online, you'll have like 12 transfer units that you won't have to then repeat with them. We have the same kind of agreement offered through Algoma University. If you take their Bachelor of Sciences programs, they have like quite a lot of them. If you graduate with an overall average of 70% in our pre-health advanced courses, you could earn somewhere between 15 and 36 transfer credits, depending on which program you apply to. So if you're interested in either of those like articulation agreements, they are found on the website here, which I can put into the chat for you, and the college outreach thing email. All right, let's see the questions. I took communications for PSW in 2019. So that is an excellent question. I know Jim's here. My associate dean might be able to help us with this question here. If you took communications in PSW, you'll probably have to look at the course code and see if the course code from PSW matches the course that we offer in pre-health as well. So if it's exactly the same course code, awesome, then it will absolutely count. You could choose to retake it if you wanted, like if you really wanted a higher grade in it, then that would be fine. Or you'll have to talk with our academic advisor and we might be able to get you a different course to fill that empty slot in your schedule. But you basically have options. So you could just drop it and take one fewer course, as long as that doesn't mess with any like financial aid that you'd be receiving or like any of the other requirements and things. So we always sort of recommend for students who are thinking about dropping a course to always work through our academic advisor, because he knows what happens when that goes down. So you basically can either drop it from your schedule and take another course, or just drop it entirely, or retake it if you want a higher grade. And we kind of leave it up to you, but he knows like the consequences. So don't do anything without asking first. But that is an excellent question. But you do have choice, especially if it's exactly the same course code. That makes it a lot easier. Then I'm about to graduate from high school and you got accepted for dental assisting in September. Congratulations. So if you're already accepted in the dental assisting program, then Stacy might be able to find you the link for the dental assisting, like their personal help session.
Yes, I'll find that now and put it in the chat.
Awesome. Okay, so we have got that and that. Jim, you sent that to me privately, but that seems like a really good comment to put publicly in the chat for our comm course question. Is there an elective you could take in replacement? Yes, we have tons of elective options. Well, yeah, tons. Oh, yes. And so we have, the bio course is the medical terminology as one of our elective options. That's a course that's actually embedded within the pre-health program. So if you take our pre-health certificates and diplomas stream, one of the courses that you'll take in the winter term, so starting in January, you have a choice to either take physics or the medical terminology course. We offer physics as an optional elective because some people need it to get into things like the lab technician kinds of programs. And our physics is very gentle, if I do say so myself. So again, we assume you don't know anything about physics and we start from the beginning. But we do have other elective options if you needed to fill in your timetable with something else. So the medical terminology is an option, but we have other ones that we can also add in to your schedule. Like the advisor can add into your schedule. But as my final thank you slide, and we do have another like slide at the end here, but thank you all for all of your questions so far. They have been great. Please keep those coming. But I am only going to be the program coordinator for another month or so. And then Laura Miani will be taking over for me. So I've put her email address up in the slide as well. Uh, I mean, if you send me an email, I will still, of course, answer you. But she and I are on opposite vacation days this coming spring and summer. So either one of us will be able to answer any questions that you have. If you think of something after this help session, and you're thinking, I really should have asked that, you can always reach us by email at either of our email addresses. They'll both work. What are the electives besides terminology for the advanced diploma and degrees program? So, in the advanced program, this is our advanced program website, and these are the courses that you would take this coming fall. So, each of these courses tells you how many like credit hours they would be. So if you took an advanced level or our advanced level pre-health course program, we'd have 3 hours of a English communications course, excuse me, 3 hours of a human biology course, 2 hours of a lab component for that course, 3 hours of chemistry, 2 hours of the chemistry lab, and these are like co-requisites. You take them at the same time. Then we also have our academic and career preparation course and 3 hours of math. So 3, 6, 19 hours or so. Excuse me. So these 19 hours would appear on a schedule. Like if we were face to face, these would be scheduled hours on a physical timetable in rooms to be like, at this time, be in this room from this hour to that hour. Online, many of our programs are run what's known as like asynchronously or like not live. So while your professors are there to help you through all of the topics, you would then sort of like excuse me, self schedule for your own schedule. So you'd be able to decide when you got all of these hours done during the week. So it kind of depends, and every course is kind of different. So each course sort of runs things slightly differently, but all of that information would appear online in our like we use Blackboard as our main tool to communicate with students and like give you all of your coursework. So you'd have 19 hours of like quote unquote lecture time or lab time. And then anytime outside of that 19 hours, you would then be sort of responsible for doing things like assignments or studying for tests and that kind of stuff. So, in general, the rule of thumb is that for each hour you spend in class, you'll probably also use about an hour of time outside of class. So if you have like 19 hours, even if we called it 20 hours, you'd have just under 40, so like 38-ish hours between doing the work, like learning the material, and also doing some homework alongside. To get to the elective question, in pre-health advanced, you don't have space in your timetable for a elective course. So for the advanced level program, you're given physics as your like voluntold elective option because most universities assume that you have some vague knowledge of physics. So we want to make sure that if you're headed to a university, that you are ready for it. And part of that process is making sure that you have some idea of how physics works as well. So unfortunately, if you take the advanced level pre-health, you don't really get an elective choice. We give you physics. But notice that it's called concepts in physics. So you actually don't do a lot of physics math in our physics course. It's more about like understanding the properties of physics. So, like, what is light and how does it work? What is magnetism and gravity? And like, how does the physics of the universe hold everything in place? And like you do a tiny bit of math, but like really not that much. Instead, you'll get your math in term one in our mathematics of functions course, and in term two with our like very introductory algebra and calculus course. So this is for the advanced level program. All right. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Good, good. Yeah, so unfortunately there's no like good example schedule that I could pull up, but this is like how many hours each course would be per week on a schedule. And it would be just like somewhere Monday to Friday. And our courses run on the half hour. I don't know why, but our life runs on the half hour at Niagara College. So it runs from like 8:30 in the morning, and then typically our courses don't run late into the evening. So they would be over around like 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, kind of around there, depending on, I don't know, the tides. It changes every semester. So it depends on what kinds of courses get offered at what times. For the other health program, it is more or less the same. So let me pull this up. Okay. So the other pre-health program looks very similar, but some of our courses are combined. So this is the certificate and diploma pathway pre-health. You have the same 3 hours of our English communications course, and our biology and chemistry course simply includes the lab component embedded within the same course code. So whereas with the advanced level, they were split up, these 4 hours of biology includes 3 hours of a bio lecture plus 1 hour of a bio lab. For health chemistry, it would include 4 hours of a chemistry lecture and 1 hour of a chemistry lab. So 18 credits, so only 1 hour less than the advanced level pre-health. So in general, these 18 credit hours, the same kind of rule applies, where if you spend about 18 hours in class doing your learning, it'll also probably take about 18 hours out of class doing things like assignments and studying and, I don't know, the other stuff, projects and research and that kind of thing. And then in the winter term, here's where your elective option comes in. So you'd have another 3 hours of English, or like communications is what we call it, 4 hours of our anatomy and physiology course, but this includes 3 hours of lecture and an hour of lab, another 5 hours of chemistry, which again is 4 hours of chemistry with an hour of lab, 3 hours of math, and then your choice in elective. And the reason the physics has that fourth credit is because it also includes an hour of lab. We're very proud of our labs. We like that we can offer our students labs in bio, chem, and physics. But remember, if you're taking the advanced level pathway, you will be defaulted into the physics course because you need it. But if you're in the certificate level pathway, so if you're headed to college, you can take the medical terminology course instead, which is sort of a really nice partner course with our anatomy and physiology course that we run, because in the anatomy course, you'll learn about what happens when the body works properly. And then in medical terminology, you'll start to look at all kinds of diseases and disorders and what happens when things go wrong. So cool stuff all around. But again, I'm biased because I am a science nerd, and this kind of stuff is very exciting to me.
Thank you, guys. Great presentation.
Thanks for coming, Beth.
Thank
Have a
you.
great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, too.